Hi everyone, how you doing? Happy Saturday. It's great to catch up with you all in the chat. I really enjoyed seeing what everyone's been up to. It has felt like it's been a while. I know I chat to you, a lot of you on Discord on a regular basis per day, multiple times per day. But it's also good to catch up with you now and get some real-time information on how your week's gone, how open source has gone. So it's great to see you all here. And we're going to be reviewing open source projects today. And not necessarily in terms of specific code, but in terms of the open sourceness. How inclusive are they? Are people more likely to contribute to those projects? They've got a low barrier to entry. And then we can also look at some of the projects that you're maintaining or that you're contributing to, and we can help you find some projects as well. I like to do these streams quite often, and I haven't done one in quite a while, so apologies for that. I did get a new client and that has kept me busy, but I have had videos coming out and I'm thinking of a video I'm going to record probably tomorrow. So I've got some ideas on that. If you're new here, my channel is about open source. Join our Discord, join our GitHub organization, and let's see what videos are going to be helpful and live streams are going to be helpful for you. Actually, I have a live stream on Monday with Gwen on part 2 on Vue, quick start getting into Vue 3. Don't forget to join that as well. Right, everyone, it's awesome to have you here. I'm gonna try and catch up a bit with the chat. If I do miss things, just repeat the message in chat again. I won't be offended. Just don't spam too much. So, how is everyone's Hacktoberfest going? Mine is going good in terms of getting lots of pull requests coming in. In terms of my contribution, I don't feel I'm doing as much as I want to. I don't think I deserve a t-shirt just yet. But there's still time, and there's still time for you to do it too. I have my GitHub t-shirt for good luck today, and I also have an Octocap plushie for good luck as well. So that's my my rubber duck when I get stuck and go wrong. I've just thrown the Octocap on the floor. One sec. Okay, now I've done that, shall we have a look at what open source projects have been submitted for review, and we can take a look. And if you haven't submitted one just yet, you can. Let me share a link to that. So what you need to do is, if I share a link to the repo, just raise an issue with the type open source review. You know what? Let's head over to my screen and let me show you. Always be learning. Absolutely. Always be learning. Okay, so let's go to the beginning. Right, this is my GitHub profile. If you don't follow me on GitHub yet, drop me a follow and you can see what awesome open source project I'm up to. And I can see what open source projects you're up to as well. I've been quite busy, but not busy enough. So we will make sure we add to some more. And we have our community organization. I can drop a link to that as well. And they've got almost 200 people in our GitHub organization. If you want to join, just raise an issue on the support repo. When you go to new, you can either raise an issue saying invite me to the GitHub organization, or you can also review my open source link. And this is what we're going to be looking at today. People who have submitted their open source links. If you haven't submitted one yet, feel free to submit one. Hopefully we can get to it. If we don't get to it today, we will do another live stream and get to it. So we're going to start off with the oldest one, which is all the way back from the end of July. So thank you so much for being patient, and we'll have a quick review. So other people in the community have reviewed some of these projects already. So I'm just going to give it another look now with you all now. And I'd love to get your feedback on what you think of your projects, because what you need to remember is, if you're new to a project, you can add so much value. I think before I get started, I need to repeat this because I don't think people realize how much value they can add by being new to a project. And I know what you're thinking. You might be thinking, Eddie, I'm not sure, I'm a bit nervous. What value can I add? You can add so much value. For example, when I get someone new to one of my open source projects or to a client project, the first thing I do, I say to them is, look at the project. Tell me about the project. And they look at me and go, no, Eddie, I'm new here. You need to tell me about the project. And it's no, wait a second. If you can't tell me what the project is about and how to use it, it's not because you're bad or doing anything wrong. It means the project has something wrong. And this is where we can make improvements for the people that come after you. And this is really important. So have a look at these projects with me and see what you think. And we can all add so much value. And we can raise issues. You don't have to actually raise a pull request to add value to a project. you can add, raise an issue or comment on an issue, and that is adding value. With everything in open source and even company projects, remember one thing: it is about adding value, and try and add it in the easiest way for the other person to consume. Right, let's have a look. Should we pick one, the oldest one? Let's have a look what we've got here. I've been missing a few things in the chat, so apologies if I have. Like I said, paste it again and I'll try and catch up. I see Alex hasn't received any spammy PRs and is sad. That's actually really good. You don't want spammy PRs. I think spammy PRs was the first day of Hacktoberfest. People went a bit crazy, and now it's a lot better. So let's open this GitHub repo. So let's have a look. Last contribution was 7 days ago. Okay, so it still feels like an active project. That's the thing, right? You want to see projects that are active. So when you first come to a GitHub project, my first impressions are, when was the last commit? Was it like 2 years ago and the project's dead? But no, 7 days, this project's looking healthy. Okay, I'm going to start digging a bit deeper. What else have we got? Okay, the README's got a nice logo. It's got these badges. I love badges. And so again, it's looking really good. So it's great start. 23 contributors, really liking that. Installation and how to use, it's looking good. I'd probably like to see more screenshots, probably myself, even if it is of the terminal or the output of the terminal. So I run this installs it globally, but then, how to use it. What commands should I need to run? Now, it does say available commands here. They are in the table. That feels more like it's information than actual commands to run. So if any one of you are watching and you want to get your green square on GitHub today, then raise an issue on these repos. I will actually share them as I go through in the chat as well, so you can star them and support those projects as well. But it's important to look at it from the point of view from other people, this project. So when you look at your project, it might all make sense to you, but it's important to look at it from the other person's point of view who's coming new to your project. And I know it's hard. I find it really hard as well. And again, that's why I love it when I get new people on my project who can add so much value. So commit messages, it looks good. Although I have recently discovered a new project, well, it's not new, it's new to me, about helping people write commit messages. I can't think of what it's called, but it is really impressive. I'll dig it out in a bit. We just started using it in our EddieBot project. And I can go through those projects later on if you want to get involved in some front-end projects and back-end projects. We've got a variety of different projects that people will help you work with. I believe this repo, I saw commit lint and how they do it. I learned about it on a podcast. Cool. It's great that there's all this cross kind of communication. And I do like that. If you see a project once, then you kind of like, shall I look into it? If you start seeing a project multiple times and you think, okay, now it's definitely on my radar a lot more, I should be looking into it a lot more and seeing how it can add value. And as the projects grow, they get better and better each time. That's why I really want everyone to contribute, not only because it's Hacktoberfest, but because it will really help your career, your job, and allow you to get the money that you want. I can definitely put all my success down to open source. I kid you not. All my success is down to open source. My YouTube channel does help me a little bit as well, get a bit more exposure. But definitely my open source work that I do on GitHub has been 90% of the success I've had in my career with client projects, etc. And I know people say, oh, what about LinkedIn? I want to connect to everybody on LinkedIn. I get hundreds of connections on LinkedIn a day with no comment where we met or what we spoke about or why the connection should happen. Just ignore those. And even with all my connections on LinkedIn, I think I have like 2,000. I've never got any good piece of work from LinkedIn. So that's a really, contrast example of LinkedIn has given me nothing, and GitHub has given me almost everything that I've got. So I can't recommend getting involved in open source. And it's not just about open source. It is about getting involved in the conversation. You will get better as a technical person, and you will get better at communicating. And that's really important. So yes, what have we got? So this is looking good. I really like the way this project's set up. Just a few minor things. It has got a GPL license. Other thing you can check, a little kind of tip here. If you go to the Insights tab on any repo, and then you go to the Community tab down the left-hand side, you can kind of see the community heartbeat of the project. GitHub really presents it really nicely. So they haven't got a contributing file. Not the end of the world. They've got a code of conduct, which is really important. Code of conduct is so important. And enforcing it is also really important as well. Issue templates, pull request templates. This is looking good. I think this project is definitely in a healthy state. Be interested to know what your projects are looking like. And people want to contribute to projects that are not only active, but are in a healthy and inclusive state. Another thing you can check with projects before you contribute to them, if you think they're welcoming and they'll help you, because some projects will mentor you to get on board with the technologies, and then you can learn a lot faster and contribute back to the project a lot faster. And the way you can check that is look at the closed issues and the closed pull requests and see how they've interacted. Actually, closed pull requests, the ones that haven't been merged, add so much value to you to find out what the project is really like. Because there's nothing wrong with people closing pull requests, and don't be upset if your pull requests get closed. There's nothing wrong with that. You still get the green square. But the important thing is how the project maintainer closes it. Do they just hit close and ignore it, and then that's it, nothing else happens? Or do they put a comment and say, look, thank you very much for your contribution. We don't want this feature at this time. I'm going to close this pull request. But please have a look at the other issues we have open. Maybe you want to contribute to those. That is fine. That is actually a really good comment to get. The project sounds really inclusive. However, if it just gets closed and then the contributor doesn't know why it got closed, was there something they've written badly in there? Was it a feature they didn't want? Like, it could be 101 reasons. And the project maintainer doesn't take a moment to write what it is, and that's probably a project that you don't want to contribute to because you're not going to get help in adding more contribution to it. So I highly recommend looking at the closed pull requests. No problem, you're late. Good to have you here. I don't think we've done your review yet. So let's have a look. So yeah, this project is looking quite healthy. They do have linting. They do have various things. If I look in the package.json, let's have a look if they have link commands. So that looks really good as well. Do they have CI? Let's just check if they have actions running. And they don't. So that's actually another contribution that you could do for Hacktoberfest as a pull request. Because if you look, in the package.json, they do have some commands that you could run. And so, in fact, you could actually run the lint command on a GitHub action. And that would be an amazing contribution to this project. So let's hear in the chat who wants to do this. And if you need any help, let us know. I think that's actually a really good contribution. So one person should raise an issue, get a green square on your GitHub profile on raising an issue saying GitHub action to run the lint command. And then maybe someone else can then raise a pull request having a vanilla action running that lint command. So let me know in the chat who wants it. And I think that'd be a really good contribution to this project. If you don't want it, I'll raise the issue. I'll get the green square, but I've got loads of green squares, so I kind of want you to get the green square. I don't have loads. I need more. I'm happy to do it, but I'd be really keen if you do it too. I think I've shared the link to the repo in the chat. So in the chat, write, I don't know, open source and let me know if you want it. Okay, so this issue, I think there's been some discussion. The title is got nothing to do with actually what the issue is. So I'm actually going to edit that as an admin because I have asked them to update it. Unfortunately, they haven't. Review my open source projects. So yeah, that hasn't been updated. Just the title of stale YAML makes no sense at all. So have they got any links? They haven't put any links in. So I'm just going to review their GitHub profile and we can review it together. I quite like looking at people's GitHub profiles because I get ideas from it as well. And hopefully you get ideas too. So definitely customize your profile. Have a profile picture and customize your profile. Remember, if you've just joined the stream and you want your GitHub profile or an open source project reviewed, raise an issue on our support repo with the label open source review and we will get to it. I'm working from the bottom, working up. And I should actually put some comments in these issues so we don't lose them. I'll do that. So looking at this, I can see it's got this card which is very popular on GitHub and it's got its animated GIF, but it doesn't add a lot of value to me as someone coming in. So if I was looking to hire someone or looking to look at what they're working on, it doesn't add a lot of value to me. I can see total 3 stars, you know, commits, PRs. I mean, this graph and this card is nice. And this is animation is very catchy, but again, it doesn't add a lot of value. I think there needs to be some more added to it, some more, like, where are your other social links? I know you've got LinkedIn down the side and Twitter down the side, but maybe some badges that you could have. And we do have actually a repo with awesome GitHub profiles, where if you want some inspiration, scroll down. We do have lots of profiles here with examples where there are some that are really freaking awesome. I keep making updates to mine all the time to look better. So and people are adding their profiles to here all the time. So I'm getting lots of ideas from here. Let me share a link so you can start the project or even add your profile to the project if you want as well. Oh, thanks for sharing the link, Stephen. I really appreciate that. Everyone, say thank you to Stephen. He's my biggest sponsor on GitHub sponsors. So I get money from Stephen every month. It allows me to do more videos and more work. So thank you very much for that, Stephen. And thank you to all my other sponsors who are also sponsoring as well. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe below if you haven't already. And hit the bell button so you get notified every time I go live. I've kind of got that down almost to a good sentence now, I think. I'm getting better. Right, back to this. So when I go to this GitHub account, it's getting some more activity. It's building it up. So that's quite good. I like that. Some pinned repos. Oh, our support repo is pinned. Thank you very much. That's awesome. And so that's looking good. So I do like when people have pinned some repos. Doesn't matter what they are, but I feel they've made the effort for me to look at the repos that they're interested in. I'd like to add the profile. Add your profile to that project. So you can also see what people have been working on. There isn't a lot to review here. I mean, I could go into this repo. There's 21 repos actually. Let's have a look. What's the most recent one that has been updated? So that's a fork. We want type. Let's go for all the sources, all the projects that they own. 7 days ago. Oh, this is the customization of GitHub profile. Okay, 12 days ago. Oh, excuse me. This project, let's see. So these are descriptions. So if anyone wants to get a green square for today, raise an issue on this project. Let me share it with you and raise an issue. Just say missing description. There are no releases. There are no topics. So there's like 3 issues that could be raised there. People will appreciate this. There are 2 branches. Maybe stuff's happening in the dev branch already. A bit more work. Oh, actually, dev branch is behind the master. Okay. But raise those issues. If you're not sure how to raise an issue, I'll click issue. I'll show you. I'll raise one. No one seems to be claiming it. Click on new and just say project could do with description. There we go. That's it, really. You can take a screenshot to make it a bit nicer. And now I've got another green square for today. And so that's a description. Have a look at the project, see what suggestions you could give them and raise those issues. Obviously don't spam like 5 issues on a project, spread them out, but that will help you have an active profile. And if you want your issue or pull request to stand out, don't forget about Markdown, make it really nice. You know, my issue kind of sucked, right? Let's be honest. Not the goal of it, but this issue itself. So what you would do is actually probably take a screenshot to show that there's actually no description there, and maybe, you know, highlight it with an arrow or something. Again, it will make it, the more effort you make, the more the project maintainer is going to, you know, want to help and so forth. Right, next one, let's have a look. What else have we got? Hopefully I think we've got some more exciting projects coming up. Please review my project, my profile, project and portfolio. And here are the links. It's weird when people submit stuff and they don't put links. And I just think, well, how am I supposed to find? Okay, I can find your GitHub account by clicking on the name. How am I to find your any particular project? So let's have a look. Let's go to the GitHub profile first. So they've got a description. They've got a link to see what it looks like. So let's go have a look. That looks pretty good. And what will be really good, let me share a link to this as well so you can all see it. And you can raise some issues too. What would be really good is it's a C live demo, but what would be really more kind of catching is to have a screenshot. Yes, it might get out of date, but take a screenshot of that and add it to the README. So who's going to raise the issue? Who's going to get the green square? And who's going to raise the pull request to add a screenshot to the README? Do you want me to do it? Is that what you're trying to say? Because I can't hear you. Actually, I won't be able to hear you because you're probably quite far away. But maybe write in the chat and let me know if you want to take these or shall I do them. I'm happy to get more green squares, but I really want to share the green squares with you. While you're thinking about that, give the video a thumbs up. Only got 19 likes. I need to get more. I want to try and hit 100. Tell your friends. Okay. There isn't a lot to review on this, so I could have a look and see how they've done the coding. So again, here, I'd be consistent. Like you've got 2 lines there. You don't need, he says, trying to highlight them. You don't need those sorts of things. So again, I would be probably quite consistent. You've got 2 more here. 2 aren't needed. When people are looking at your projects, they're looking at it from the first impression on the GitHub page. Absolutely. When they go look into your code, they want to see kind of consistency. So the indentation looks really good. Double BRs probably aren't great. You probably want to do that with CSS. Again, these are just impressions. As people dig further and deeper, they want to see it. Maybe you are consistent with 2 double line breaks, so maybe that is okay. It's just something that I don't normally see. Like here is 1, here is 1, here is 1, and then here is that 3? 1, 2, 3. Again, it's just it's not the consistency, and consistency is really important. So there's 3 things that actually I always look for when hiring someone or going to work with someone, whatever it is. I look for the right attitude. I want to see how you communicate on pull requests and issues, how you reply to people. Most important, attitude and communication skills. Then 2, I actually want to look at people's consistency, because if they're consistent, it doesn't matter if I agree with it or not. So for example, if it was 3 spaces everywhere, I prefer just 1 line break, sorry, not spaces, 1 line break. That's fine, as long as it's consistent for their project, because that shows me that someone takes more pride in their work. It's like imagine washing your car. Would you wash just the front and not the back? No, you'd wash the whole lot. Like you'd be consistent on the whole thing. When you're brushing your teeth, which I say open source is about brushing your teeth all the time, would you just kind of brush your top teeth and ignore the bottom ones? No. So it is that consistency all the time. So that's one thing that I look for. There isn't a lot to do. So no one's in the chat raising anything. I'm going to raise this issue. I'm going to say recommend adding a screenshot to the README. There we go. Another green square for me. See how simple that was? You could have done that. Literally takes 2 seconds. And then who wants to raise the pull request for this? I can do it, but I'm thinking, I don't know. I just think I want you to do it. I'd prefer for you to raise it. I'm guessing you're all kind of having breakfast, lunch, or dinner. The chat's very quiet today. Don't be shy. Say hi in the chat. We're all friends here. There are no stupid questions, so ask me questions. There are no stupid questions. There are only stupid answers, which will come from me. So I make mistakes all the time, and that's why I love live streams, because you get to see the authentic side. You get to see me make mistakes, struggle, and when you watch my videos on YouTube, you see me, I don't know, do something in like 5 minutes, and it's probably taken me like 3 hours to actually do it. And I think it's a bit misleading, because then people think, wow, how can I do it in 5 minutes? It took me an entire day to do it. It took me an entire day too, but you just get all like the perfect parts, whereas a live stream is more authentic. So, lots of haze in the chat. Great, people are awake. I really thought you were all asleep. I was like going to kind of, end the stream, call it a day, because I thought no one was here. Okay, awesome. You're actually all awake, so that's great. Mohammed, long time no see. Anurag as well, long time. Stephen, you've been hiding a lot recently. I know you've been busy with work, and I hope you're all well. So awesome, glad you're awake. Grover, how to contribute to large repos without getting overwhelmed. So my recommendation is when you're new to open source, let me know where you are in your open source kind of life cycle. But when you're new to open source, don't try and contribute to the biggest projects. They are overwhelming, absolutely. When you get used to the flow, for example, forking a project, doing your changes in a branch, so important, and even more important on the bigger projects, otherwise you get conflicts. When you're used to that, and you understand that creating a second PR when your first branch hasn't been, your first PR hasn't been merged yet, and you do the second PR in another branch that doesn't contain the changes of the first branch, when you're comfortable with all that awesome stuff, then maybe you can start looking at the bigger projects. But there is a lot to take in. A lot of these big projects are actually split into smaller projects. So you can go into components and look at those individually. And the best way to get involved in bigger projects is to get involved in the conversation. Join their Discord, join their Slack. Look at the open issues, open pull request. Review the pull requests. Review the issues. Put comments in. If someone raises a bug, can you replicate the bug and say, hey, I had the same bug. It was on Linux, Ubuntu, whatever, and in this browser or whatever you use with using Node version, whatever. Reinforce the information that's already there. Add value. And the great thing about that is people will then start tagging you and including you in the project. And then from there, they'll start saying, hey, there's this pull request. Do you want to do it? It's an easy one for you to get started and you can get into it. It's like imagine going to a party where you don't know anyone, or a conference or a meetup or anything like that. You don't know anyone. You're kind of standing at the door on the outskirts and you're kind of like, oh, everyone's already in groups, don't know who to talk to. That's what open source is like. And what you need to do is when you first kind of speak to someone, it's really hard, but you start that conversation and then they'll introduce you to the person next to them. And then they'll introduce you to the person next to them and you get involved in that conversation. And when you're involved in one group, then you might go over to another group, or someone goes, oh, I'm going to go head over to another group over there to say hi to my friend. Do you want to come with me? So open source is like that. Just get involved in the conversation. Don't try and run before you can walk. My biggest recommendation. And thank you for those great questions, because it did make me think about how to explain that in a different way. So that's really added lots of value to me. That's why I love when people ask me questions. When I do workshops, I try and have a big section on questions, because that's how we both learn together, which is awesome. Okay, hopefully, and Grover, hopefully that answers your question. But definitely build up to it, get started, get involved in the conversation. We've got Davey says hi. Pradumna, my screen is too far away. I'm getting my eyes tested today, so you might see me with new glasses in a couple of days. Awesome to have you all here. Hopefully I haven't missed too many people in the chat. Kudu, I'm not going to read everybody out, but welcome to you all. It's awesome to have you all here. There was another question, how to actually open source project work. You can just make your project private. I highly recommend making everything public. Did I say private a second ago? I meant public. I even make my configurations for my computer, my dot files, public, because people can make improvements, they can use it. And let me just quickly show you what I've got. So I should share my link as well, so if people want to follow me on GitHub. Right, remember GitHub's a social platform, social coding platform. So if I go to my dot files, I do have it here somewhere, he says. Dot files, here we go. I think I've pushed it up. So in my dot files, this is how I configure my computer, how I Vim. So when I use code spaces or when I use a different computer, it configures it everywhere for me. But one of the great things you can do, this is my VS Code plugins. So when people say, what VS Code plugins do you use? I literally send them this link. And you can see all the plugins I use. But you can do one even better. You could take this file, add it to your dot file configuration, and then it'll update all your devices. So your laptop, your computer, your code spaces. It will update it so that you have the same plugins, which is so awesome. So you can do that for NPM as well. So NPM global stuff, I have these two tools installed on all my devices. And if I want to add any, I add it to here. I run the install command and it's idempotent, which means, yes, it will go over all the other config files, but it won't affect anything. And if I've updated the config file, any of those files, it will update the config. It's just epic. It's something to look into. But yeah, I don't want to get too much into that. We'll get into that later on. So anyway, who's raised the pull request for this? If I refresh this page, am I going to see a pull request? There's still no pull request. It's not my project, but I want someone else's project to get pull requests, and I want you to get the green square for today and maybe help towards your Hacktoberfest t-shirts. But I raised the issue. Someone should just put a screenshot in the README as a contribution. Right, let's pick up the next project because time is ticking and I want to get through all of these. So what have we got? This is the third one now. I think we're on. That's about right. Oh no, we did this one already, didn't we? Fourth one. Oh, we're doing quite good actually. Here we go. Fourth one. Code capture. Okay, so we've got code capture. Let's have a look. Remember, you can add your projects to the list if you want to get it reviewed. If we don't get time today, we'll review it in a live stream. And if you like these, give the video a thumbs up and I'll do more of these live streams. Let me know in the comments after the live stream as well what videos you would like to see and what live streams you'd like to see. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, let's just have a look at the review this code. The repository is here. Let's have a look. Capture code PWA. Okay. First impression, 6 branches. Okay. 6 is quite a lot. But it's not so bad. Let's have a look and see what else we got. 3 hours ago, last commit, so it's definitely still an active project, which is important. It's got a description, it's got a link where I can go view it, which I think is great. I think that's really good. And it also has topics, which I like. From pen to paper and compiler. Okay. I'm not going to go through everything, but this looks interesting. And they've got a kind of a screenshot of their logo. Again, it looks enticing. You've got a couple of people contributing as well. Let me share a link to this in the chat if you want to star the project and have a look into it in more detail. Let's have a look. Okay, so impressions are good. They've got some documentation, right? This looks welcoming. It looks like they've made an effort to say what the project is about, the inspiration, technologies used. What I would like to see, and I can raise an issue, or you can raise an issue, is I'd like to see how it's open source, but how to run the project. So the project is, with JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. Although down here they say that the backend is built in Flask. Okay, so it'd be really good to see how to get the project up and running. Let me raise an issue, and one of you can raise a pull request if you want with changes. It would useful to have a quick start guide on how to get the project running. So I think that's pretty good, right? And I've added value to that project now. And that's what open source is about. It's about adding value. Okay, I've got some chatter in the chat. I'd like to see. It shows me that you're all still awake. So great to have you all here. Hopefully I haven't missed anyone. If I miss your comment in the chat, just copy and paste it and post it again. Let's have a look. Oh, I saw someone saying good news. Congratulations. That's great news. What did I miss? What's great news? I like great news. I always used to get bad news. Great news is good. Let's have a look. Karthik, you're new to coding. You don't have a CS background. You're learning Java. How can I build a career in software development? Get into open source. That's literally what I always say. My latest video from a couple of days ago is the tips from loads of other YouTubers and developers. I think about 10 other developers and YouTubers in this video. And we're all giving our tips how to become better at coding. And there were so many great tips. Even me as an experienced developer over 15 years, those tips were just like really good to hear. Some were new, some were not. But some reinforced ones that I thought of before or were aware of, but I kind of forgotten about. So it's definitely worth watching. I must have watched it like 10 times already. And get involved in the discussion, get involved in open source and make mistakes. And don't just follow tutorials, go have a play. So we're showing how to do pull requests and create issues and look at project reviews. Go do it yourself as well after this live stream. That's the best way you will learn. I will do some more videos and work on finding your way around GitHub if that is helpful, because we do have lots of tabs from code, issues, pull request, actions, which is freaking awesome, projects. Actually, they have no CI here. That's another one that they could add. Actually, another issue that I could create for this project, because they do have a test command, but I suggest that they add it to. Oh, brilliant! So someone's raised an issue. You got your green square for today. That's great. Let's have a look. Site is using HTTP. Okay, so I guess you're implying that they should use HTTPS. I would probably put that in there to make it completely clear. I would edit your issue and say, site is currently using HTTP. I recommend you use HTTPS. Again, just make it really crystal clear, because it took me a moment to think what you kind of meant. There's a dot at the end. Does that mean you made a mistake and submitted it, hadn't finished typing it? You got to put yourself in the other person's shoes. So I'm going to raise an issue. And then what was the issue? I forget already now. I was too busy yapping away. I've forgotten. Yes, CI. Suggest adding GitHub actions for your test command in package.json. So the other thing we could do in the description, I do recommend using the description. So if I open up the code now and I open the file that I was talking about, I can copy the line. I can click on the line. And you can get things like a permalink. And so if I put this in here and preview it, you can see it just with the link, it actually shows the line that I'm talking about. So I'm just going to submit that. There you go. It looks really good, right? Making it easier for the person who's on the project. Right, let's go to the next project. But this is, it does look good. But just like with every project, no matter how good it looks, a fresh pair of eyes really helps. So everyone watching, if you're new to tech, new to open source, or even not new, go have a look at a project. You will add so much value. Please look at all our community projects. Almost 200 people. If you want to join our community on GitHub, let us know. It will help your GitHub profile get more exposure, and then therefore your project's exposure, and we'll get more exposure from you. It's a two-way street. If you want to look at it, contribute and help to any of these projects, you're more than welcome to. Your fresh pair of eyes will really, really help. Will really, really help. Jacob asks, how to find an issue? Great question. Oh, I missed some other chat. Jacob, I'll come back to that in 1 second. The whole project is on a different branch. Okay, got you. Change the branch to backend 2. Okay. Okay, so you should put that in the README. So that's another issue someone can raise on that project. Then what branches mean what? So if you've got a backend branch and a front-end branch, I wouldn't recommend doing that. I would either have a mono repo where you have the front-end and backend in the same repo but in different folders, or split them out into actually different repos. Having them in different branches is confusing. Branching is more done for workflow. If you're doing a spike, like a temporary bit of work that you're not going to merge in, or a feature or bug fix branch, then you get it reviewed, it goes into develop, and then once it's ready to be deployed, it goes from develop into main, so which used to be called master. So I highly recommend not trying to do that. But we can have a quick look at the branch you mentioned. Did you say backend 2? So you've got API and public in there. So this branch is 39 commits ahead, but also 2 behind. So I didn't know that. So, and no one else would know that. So you're already, I think, having a high barrier to entry without people knowing that. So there's a bit more going on here. This looks like it was generated by the React app script. Again, GitHub Actions, get things running on GitHub Actions from your package.json. So when you get pull requests and working with your team, if the test command is running all the time on CI, it's a lot easier. And it's just YAML config to get it running on CI. It's really, really straightforward. But yeah, it's looking good. Like I said, overall it looks good. You probably want to release soon as well. Again, it makes it look more professional. Even if it is a beta 0.1 release or something, definitely have that. And the last update was 12 minutes ago. Really active project. And we can also look in Insights and see. Remember, we can go to the community tab in Insights. Look, there's no code of conduct. If you want people to contribute to your project, you need to have a code of conduct. It's really important and becoming more important. Contributing file. No license. Need a license. Even if it's like MIT or GPL, whatever it is. Or I think you can put no license now as well. But have something to show that you haven't forgotten about it. Whatever you decide, it's a conscious decision. So yeah, I highly recommend looking at this. And people who want to contribute to open source, you can make some of these contributions and suggestions. So do have a look at these, and it's a great way to contribute to some projects. Okay, moving on. I'm conscious of time. Oh, I want to look at some more. That was that one. Okay, there's this one now. Let's have a look. Aha! Ankush, hopefully I pronounced your name right. Let's have a look. Okay, let's review your GitHub profile. Lots of stuff going on in the chat. Let me have a look. What's been happening? Eddie, if I want to create a repo which is very big and can't be cloned on my local machine, what should I do? Develop something for the repo. If I want to create a repo which is very big, I'm not sure what you mean, Pratik. When you say a repo that's very big, do you want to put like everything's compressed, and being text files, it compresses really well. Do you mean it's going to have like binaries in it, like images and videos? Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that. I'd probably reference that from inside the repo. Oh, how to upload large files like like a 3D game, C++ source code. GitHub does have, what do they call it? Let me go to my account and figure it out. They do have something called, for Stephen probably knows, where is it? Here we go. Include LFS. This is used for large files, for file storage. So you can look at that. I haven't used it myself. I've never needed to. I keep my binaries elsewhere. But have a look at that, and also let us know how you get on with doing that. What have I missed in the chat? Code space is not available yet for you. No, it's still in beta at the moment, so only certain people have access. This is code spaces. I have one created yesterday, so I can click on it. It's like VS Code in the browser, but not just VS Code, entire development environment. You will get whatever dependencies is needed for that repo. For example, I don't have Ruby installed, but I think this project, yes, the open source book tips needs Ruby installed. And using using code spaces either in the browser or locally, because you can use it locally by having VS Code point to your development environment on GitHub. I will have everything installed, so I could even actually show that to you. This writing's small. I'm not going to make it any bigger, so kind of ignore it. But is if I go to the terminal, you can see that this is not my computer. This is actually the code spaces, and it have different things installed. So it's actually really, really useful. So code spaces is coming out, and this is why having your dot files is really important, because then you can have your same Vim commands, your same Git shortcuts on your code spaces as well as your local machine. It makes it awesome. So dot files will keep that all synced up. I will do a video on that, and if that's interesting to you, how you can do dot files to have all your environments and shortcuts just the same across all, which is really awesome. Even your VS Code plugins, as mentioned. Right. Okay, let's get back to reviewing this. Let's have a look. More stuff in the chat. LFS. Yeah. Thank you for clarifying that. Hungry Turtle Code, another YouTuber. Awesome to have you here. Everyone go check out Hungry Turtle Code's YouTube channel. They were also in my latest video on developer tips, so do have a look at that as well. This is an awesome GitHub profile. This one, it does look really good actually. I'm gonna have to definitely steal some ideas. It should, I think it is in our awesome GitHub profile list. If not, it needs to get added. Let's have a look. I'm pretty sure it was a recent addition. Maybe it's not. I could actually search for the name, right? Ankush. Let me have a look. Ankush. No. So it needs to get added to awesome repos so people can get ideas and inspiration from this. It's really awesome. Really good. Okay. I haven't missed too much in the chat. How do I make a dot file for pip or conda? Dot files are just literally like kind of bash or shell commands. So it can be for anything. Any command you run locally, you can run in these dot files. And by doing that, you can configure everything. So do have a look. I bet you someone has done loads of stuff for Python and pip and all the rest. That's how I got my ideas for NPM and VS Code. I just looked online, and actually I can share a link. It's a bit confusing, but dot files on GitHub has this link. It's a little bit confusing, but there's loads of examples of people using different projects on different environments, different package managers. I use Brew, for example, on the Mac, but you might use apt on Ubuntu or something like that, and there's different ways to do it. The results are the same, and you just need a very slight different configurations. It's only very slightly different. You definitely can get inspiration. Okay. Installing dependencies locally takes a lot of time. Frequently CLI gets stuck. Oh, that's not good. So yeah, the great thing about dot files is that they're idempotent, so you can run it over and over again, or you can run certain sections of it rather than writing it all big at once. GitHub releases are suitable for Windows, Mac. Cool, that's answering another question. So thank you very much, Stephen, for answering another question. Video in dot files, please. Grover, thanks for the support. I love that. It gives me inspiration to do more, so that's really great. Let's have a look at this this README. It looks really good. I do like this collapsible stuff. Oh, I haven't used that on mine. I should probably maybe use that on mine. No YouTube videos yet. See, I would probably remove that if there's nothing underneath it, because otherwise people might think it's broken. Currently working on, see that that looks good. What's next looks good, and GitHub stats. I probably wouldn't hide the GitHub stats. I'd probably show that, but that's entirely up to you. But definitely YouTube videos has nothing. So does anyone want to raise an issue on this repo? Let me share it in the chat. Alex, am I not seeing your comments? No. I think that's the first comment I see from you, unless I've missed it. But I'm having a quick scan up. I don't see your name or profile picture. So apologies if I'm not ignoring people. Maybe YouTube is is blocking some comments. So apologies, I'm not ignoring people. Worst case, we can chat in the Discord afterwards. But it'd be great to obviously do it on the live stream with everyone else's feedback as well. Okay. Right, so this is the repo. So so have I shared the repo? I have shared the repo. Who wants to raise an issue to say that this really should... Yeah, it feels like a bug to me, but otherwise it looks really, really good. I really do like this. I don't really have any other suggestion to make. This is well laid out. I believe open source is for everyone. I'm sure you stole that from me, but that is fine. It's open source. You can borrow it. It's all good. I've borrowed lots of stuff from other people, but I love that. That's great. And you've got your website. I love this typing stuff. I need that on mine. I need to redo my website. But yeah, this looks good. Yeah, that looks good. I mean, I can't really, say anything too constructive about it because that's actually really, really good. I like the icon, the images in here. Ask me anything here. Where does that go? Telegram. Okay, got you. I really like it. This is really good. Just that's my only criticism on that one. So is someone in the chat going to raise that, or shall I raise it? Oh, you made a PR. Oh, awesome. Yes. Maybe you're pasting a link and YouTube are removing it. I'm not sure. Let's go have a look. Right, who's going to raise an issue for this? Then we'll go look at this PR. Or shall I raise the issue? I created a little issue about a typo. It looks awesome. Oh, yes, cool. Yeah, 40 seconds ago, 1 minute ago, small typo. I'd recommend removing. Yes, thank you, everyone. You got your green squares for today as well. Look, Bolt has probably got loads of green squares already, but let's have a look. This is David. And we'll see. There you go. Oh, where's it gone? Jump down. 4 green squares for today, 4 contributions. That's awesome. Oh, wow, look at these. How come we're not reviewing your profile? Okay, maybe we'll leave that for next time, but this looks really good. Okay, so that's been reviewed, and then the pull request was created on which repo? Which was this one. Here we go. If I refresh the page, pull request should go to 1. I went to 2! Yes! Loving that, people. Excellent work. Okay, that's great. Added screenshot. Okay, 2 screenshots added. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, it's obviously not great to have duplicate contributions, but you both did them at the same time. It happens. When it's my repo, I always used to choose the first pull request or the first issue. I actually don't anymore, and I recommend this if the project maintainer, the project owner of this repo is here listening. I recommend you don't take the first one. I recommend you take the better one. And by better, I mean, was it easier to understand what was going on? Was it described nicely? So this is awesome. Closes like that, so even closes the issue, so it's really clear, less work for the admin. Created, so that's really good. Created during this live stream, so the person can even see when and why it was done. Really like that. And if we have a look, screenshot was added. The only thing I would suggest is the image has been added as a binary to the repo. I personally don't like that. So if it was my repo, I would prefer that the image was dropped into an issue or a comment in an issue, and then it gives you the URL, and then you put the URL there to like the GitHub CDN or whatever it is. So I would recommend doing that. That's just a personal preference. It looks good, really good. Awesome. Fix the missing screenshot. Okay, you didn't again to make it easier for the maintainer. Fixes should go in the description, not as a comment. I think, if I remember correctly, from the GitHub docs, and it doesn't need a colon afterwards. So if you want it to automatically close that issue, I would have it up here and yeah, have that there. And again, you've added the binary. You've put the screenshot uppercase. Again, it's personal preference. Yeah, I mean, we can view it, right? We can go view file and have a look, see how it looks. So inline style. So I don't know if that adds value. I would probably remove that, but you've got the screenshot, which is awesome. So great work. Both good PRs. Awesome work. What do you think? Time to review some more? Let's have a look at the chat. What have I missed? Create a little issue about the typo. Looks good. Thank you, Eddie. You're awesome and inspiring. Thank you for the awesome feedback. That gives me energy and motivation to keep going. Right, let's do some more. I've got some more motivation to keep going. Where did we get to? I think up here. Red perfume. Jared, are you here? I recognize the name. I think I saw you on the live stream collab I did with Gwen on her channel. So I think you've come over from her channel. If I remember correctly, you do a lot of Python, Django, and Vue stuff, if I remember correctly. So let's have a look at your project. Oh, Jared is here. Awesome to have you here, Jared. Okay, the first impression on your project. My first impression is you've got GitHub workflows. Yes. That doesn't matter what you've got running on there. I'm impressed straight away. So that's really good. You've got just a short description. Okay, maybe a few more words might be useful, might not be. Again, I don't know much about the project, but that looks good. You've got a license. You haven't got any releases yet. Last commit was yesterday, so that's still, it's an active project. Looks good. And then first impressions on the README. Looks good. You've got badges. Love my badges. I haven't got any physical badges right here. Just my Octocat. I'll pair review it with Octo here. So what do you think? Very talkative today. Right. Everyone watching, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Help support my channel. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed yet already, hit the subscribe button below and hit the bell button to get notified every time I go live. Awesome. Okay, next. And if you want to join our community on Discord and GitHub, just join our Discord. Obviously, the link's in the video description below. But also, we have almost 200 members on our GitHub organization. This gets you some exposure, gets us some exposure, like a two-way street, and you can get involved in some of our awesome open source community projects. Okay, so experimental CSS atomizer, work in progress. Okay, looks good. You've explained what it does. You've given some examples, which I like. I think that's really good. What do you all think? Actually, you've all been quite quiet in the chat. Let me know what you think of these repos as well, and what suggestions you have. Because with your different experience and with your different backgrounds, you probably see different things to me, which is why, again, it adds so much value. So when I make suggestions on issues to raise, if you notice anything else, raise an issue on those items as well. Also share it in the definitely that's just reading Stephen's message. I did make a drink. Let me have a sip. My cup's green, so the green screen stuff kind of goes through me. It's kind of a bit weird. Right. Love the examples. I think it's really, really good to see the examples. Lots of documentation. You've got feedback, leave a response on Twitter. Running locally, so that's really cool. So, right, you've got some information on you need Node and NPM. Download or fork the clone repo, NPM install, Node. Okay, so you've got some examples, which is really, really good. And you've explained why it's called Red Perfume. I love that. That's a real personal touch. I think that's great. Again, this project is going to stand out. I don't know much about the project, how efficient it is, or anything about the internal engine of it working. But it's the first impression. Like when you meet people at an event or a party, you'll remember certain people because they said something, hopefully it was good, and they made you feel good about yourself, or you thought, I'll think about it later, or I'll read about it later. And made you think, inspired you. So this has inspired me on my projects to do something why I've called them a certain name. So I actually really like that. I will not forget this project because of this. And that's what you want to do when you're writing a CV, applying for a job on your GitHub profile. Like if you have a nickname and that's what your GitHub username is, explain in your customized profile why you have that nickname. It just makes it more personal. People do not, they always say people do not buy from companies, they buy from people. And that's really true. And like when I go to the Apple store, I love buying from them because they always make me feel like Apple Store is just there just for me, even though it's jam-packed and super busy. I really, really like this. This is a great idea. I mean, I just love this idea. I need to tweet about this later. This is brilliant. So I really, really love this. But yeah, it looks really, really good. What else can I suggest? Let's have a look at your what actions you got running. So you got node.js.yaml. I would probably name that differently. Like, is it running tests? Is it deploying? What is it doing? It looks like it's running tests because you're running it on one version of Node. Okay. And right, if it's an older version of Node, then you're running these things. Okay, interesting. Okay, fair enough. But no, that looks good. So I would probably rename that. So who wants to raise the issue? Who wants to get the green square? Raise the issue to say rename the actions file. I just don't think that's very descriptive. I would say, I don't know, tests. What command does it actually run? It does install, it does npm ci. So you can even call it ci.yaml. I think it would be better than the node, in my personal opinion. Whoa, that's amazing on explaining the reason for the name. Yeah, I love that. Like, we've got EddieBot on our community organization, and I really think that, why do we call it EddieBot? I think it's because people call me a bot a lot of the time because I'm saying to them every day, have you contributed to open source? Have you contributed to open source? Have you contributed to open source? Literally, like, every day. So, and by contributing, I don't just mean code, and I don't just mean pull requests. I mean getting involved in the conversation, just to clarify. So I called it EddieBot because I thought it would like nudge people every day. And we do have that. If you give yourself the open source role in our Discord, it will nudge you every day, 2 p.m. UK time. And so, yeah, so I should probably put that in the README. And that's quite good. We've got some other ones that would be quite interesting. I do want to get back into doing the API for our database, our community database. So I can get back into doing the map. Where's the map project? EddieBot Live. So therefore, when we're live, you all can run commands in Discord, and then you appear on the map, and it zooms to your version. So that's another thing on my list of things to do. Coming soon. Right. Okay. Where were we? Yeah. This is really giving me some really good ideas. So you got some branches. Okay. Main and tests. I'm not sure why you have a test branch. It's ahead. I guess you're doing some stuff, and you'll soon bring it in. You have a pull request. 13 hours ago. Okay, by yourself, test API and more. Okay, looks good. You have 7 closed. Are they all from you? Okay, they are at the moment, but hopefully you'll get some more soon. I'm trying to think. It'd be really good to, you've given some examples of what it does before and afterwards. What might be good is a screenshot of your command line of you running the command and seeing the output and see how it looks. Again, it just makes it feel more real in my opinion. This is looking really good. Have anyone raised an issue? No one's raised an issue with the suggestions that I made. I've even forgot the suggestions already. Shall I raise it? Are you all too nervous? Worst thing is an issue gets closed. Don't worry about raising an issue. I'm sure it will be fine. You know what? I promise you it will be fine. So suggest renaming the, what was it? The action file to something more descriptive. And then I can put in the description, we can put an example, right? Let's take use of Markdown. For example, what do we call it? ci.yaml. That's not very descriptive. Eddie, what are you talking about? Tests. So it's kind of running lints and it's running tests. We could actually see what it's running in. We could actually see what it's running in CI. So if we go to package, when it went npm CI, what did it do? Where's scripts? Do you see scripts? Interesting. There is no script for npm CI, so I don't know what that's going to be doing. That's probably going to be breaking. I think someone should log a bug there, or at least a question. There is definitely the linter that's running, but yeah, I didn't see that one. So we're all learning all the time, so it's awesome. Any iOS developers here? No, not me. Sorry. Oh, check out the project board. Oh, Jared. Okay. Nice. See, project boards are awesome. You get a progress bar. And you can also get the progress or individual tasks on a board. Yeah, this is epic. Great example. Help wanted. Love this. I usually have backlog, prioritized, in progress. I also usually have blocked as a column or in review, because sometimes if someone raises a pull request, they can put it's not in progress anymore. It's not done either. So maybe a suggestion there is having in review. In review / blocked, you could combine those if you didn't want too many columns. That'd be useful if someone wants to raise an issue as a suggestion. But this looks really, really good. I'm really impressed. See, I do like this, and I keep saying to everyone, it's so important how you manage your own projects, because when I'm interviewing people for my clients or for other projects, etc., I look at their projects, and a lot of the time, actually most of the time, I'm not looking at their code. I am looking at how they manage their projects. Like, Imagine you were hiring, let's think of an example. Imagine you were hiring someone to wash your car. And you saw their car at the other side of the road and it was filthy. You'd think, well, why would I want them to wash my car? They obviously they can't practice what they preach. And so you need to take pride in your projects, even your GitHub profiles, customize it, but not just customizing it in how you manage that project. If you've got an idea, raise an issue, create a project board like this, and do tasks so you can get this. Because then it shows people you know how to use these features on GitHub. You don't have to use every feature on GitHub. That's not what I'm saying, but at least the main features that you would use in a project. I really like that. Thanks for the sharing your project, Jared, and for the nudge to check out the project board. Most people don't use the project board, so I didn't think to check it. So I like that. But I didn't notice the one up there, so I should have done. Thanks for the nudge. Thanks for the feedback. I fixed my PR with the screenshot added. Okay, cool. Sounds good. npm CI will do a npm install where it only installs exactly what the package's lock is. Ah, got you. See, I learned something new today as well. I don't have all the answers. I have some answers, but not all. That's why I love collaborating with all of you, because hopefully you're learning something. I know I am definitely learning something. And yeah, it helps me learn faster because you can learn from other people and it's a lot quicker. And yeah, I just want to say thanks. That's awesome. Okay, let's keep going. Should we take up the next project? I think after this project, I don't want to look at any more projects now. Red Perfume, you've ruined it for everybody. You've got why you called it Red Perfume. I mean, that is just like, I'm never going to forget that. And you've got an awesome project board. Okay, let's have a look next. We will move on to the next one. Where were we? Red Perfume. Rotten scripts. Okay, let's see what we got. Came over for my video on Free Code Camp. Harsh, awesome to have you here. I'm glad the Free Code Camp video was good. I hope to do another one in the future. Let me know what you would like videos on. Let's have a look. Okay. My project, Rotten Scripts. Okay. Eddie, could you take a look at the awesome profiles? As in the, where is it? In this project, all these lists. Did you raise a pull request? Is that what you mean? Let me know what you mean. Again, this is why practicing communication is really important, because maybe Alex has already said something further up, but because there's been so many chats and I'm terrible at multitasking, I can't remember what we were talking about. And so when you're raising issues or raising pull requests, don't write, as discussed, I've made this change. It's like what we discussed. A lot of people, you got to remember, are quite busy and they might be having 100 conversations a day. And so this is a really good example of just, obviously don't write an essay, but do make it a bit more descriptive. Don't say this or stuff like that, because what are you referring to? I think it's really important. And again, when I'm hiring people, that's what I look for people, or that's what I look for on people when they raise issues. Are they really specific? Have they made it easier for the maintainer to like digest the information? So that's a really good example. And you know, I really need that help because I can't multitask. The PR, yes, okay. I'll review the PR at the end if we have time. I'm not going to review the PRs for awesome GitHub profiles just yet. The goal of this stream is to review everyone else's projects. Well, Stephen said, I can't wait for my Red Perfume fragrance. No worries, James. You're welcome. And we'll review it again in the future. I'll probably close the issues of the projects that I've reviewed, but we can review them again, these projects again in the future. If people have made changes and improvements, and we can review it again. And the great thing about re-reviewing projects is it's a bit like bottlenecks. When you discover a bottleneck in your code performance or anything, then the bottleneck just kind of moves to the next phase along. So it's always really useful. Okay, everyone, have you given the video a thumbs up? Don't forget, it really helps support the channel, and it won't cost you anything. And you know what? Subscribing won't cost you anything either. And then you'll get notified every time I go live and post a video. Okay, rotten scripts. Scripts that will make you go, wow. Okay, awesome. Let's have a look. Go, JavaScript. My initial thinking is use hyphen somewhere, and you probably have to because that's the way all contributors work. You've underscore in other places, underscore here, camel case here, I would just say be consistent. Whatever you choose, be consistent. When was the last commit? 7 minutes ago. Nice. Okay, really active. It's got a license. It's got topics. It's got lots of contributors. Looks good. Tells you what the project's about. Really like that. How to get started. Watch a video on getting started. I like that. I really like it when projects have a video on getting started. I should probably, take my own advice and do some videos for some of our community projects. Yeah. Everyone, remind me about our community projects. I'll do some videos on those. Okay, so tells you how to do it. Okay, awesome. How to contribute. Languages in this project. And you got all contributors, which is cool. This is really, really good. I've actually stopped using all contributors personally because I didn't always keep up to date, and I found GitHub now has it on the right. But that's just a personal preference. So first impressions looks really good. The next thing I want to do is actually one bad thing. Who wants to raise an issue? This should not be here. Someone's obviously committed this file 2 months ago, and it will keep getting changed, but people should add this to the git ignore. Oh, no, don't open it. I don't want to open that file. It should be added to the, interesting, it says updated git ignore, but it's still there. So let's have a look. Git ignore. There we go, DS file. It is ignored, but probably because it was tracked already, it's still there. So what I recommend you do, click on the file, and someone hit delete, and it will create a PR with you deleting that file, and therefore it shouldn't get added again because it's already in the git ignore. But it got added probably before the git ignore happened. But again, having dot files, as I spoke about before, all your global git ignores for your environment will be applied to all your environments and code spaces, etc., and so on. So that's really, really important. Who wants to raise an issue? Shall I raise it? Write issue in the chat if you want to raise it. Get your green square. Let's have a look. Oh, Harsh is here. Awesome. Your project's being reviewed. Yeah, it looks like a really cool project. Just a few minor suggestions. I've missed some of the chat. There's something going on about CI. Awesome. Okay. No one wants to raise the issue. I'll raise it then. Issue. Ah, Davey, you just beat me to it. Nice. Okay. All yours. All yours. Raise the issue. And then someone can also raise the PR as well. Literally, it's so easy. Just hit that delete on the file, and it's just like, bam, gone. Okay. How's everyone enjoying the stream? Are you having fun today? It's Saturday. It's open source month. It's open source every month, just for the record. But it's Hacktoberfest, so this is awesome. I'm having fun. Hope you are. Yeah, that was my suggestion. The other thing I wanted to look at is to actually see what it looks like. So I've gone into the JavaScript files. Oh, there's a README for this as well. So a bit about JavaScript, who the author was. Okay, let's have a look at one example. GitHub Graph Populator, follow Instagram. Let's see. I want to actually see what's in one of these folders, but I want to pick something that who don't follow you. Oh, that sounds interesting. Let's have a look. JavaScript code which checks who is not following you back on Instagram. Okay, cool. So I see it's like snippets of stuff, not just techie things, lots of other platforms as well. Okay, that's looking good. This is okay, this is a screenshot. That's fine. Probably could do a code block with that. One thing I would probably suggest is that the whole code is. So what I would personally do is, you can do this in the README, but raise. I won't commit this, but as an example, just to show you Markdown, you do JS. You can do stuff like that, and then it gets highlighted. And I think that looks better because people can copy and paste stuff. I think that's a bit easier. It's more searchable. That's what I would recommend doing in the README, rather than having a kind of a screenshot like that. But it's still good that you got it. And don't get me wrong, it's better than nothing. But I just think you can make a little bit more improvement on that. Is all I'm saying. What other suggestions do people have? Interested to know. Let's go back to that one and have a quick look. PNG. See, I would drop also the PNGs into an issue and then get the URL that's generated by GitHub and put it wherever you need that PNG used, for example, in this README. I know if you move this to a code block, you won't need the image anymore anyway. But it keeps the repo smaller and it keeps it when people clone, it just happens faster, it's snappier. That's my suggestion. README should be in capitals, is the GitHub standard. So README is in capitals and .md, the MD part's in lowercase. Again, who wants to raise an issue? Who wants to create a pull request? Do have a look at that and see. I'm not going to look at code. We're not reviewing code today. We're reviewing more the open sourceness. Let's, as always, go to the Insights tab, and you guessed it, the Community tab. Nice. Code of conduct, contributing, license. I need some sound effects. Rather than me clapping, I need to have some sound effects. Nice. Looks good. Really good idea. Really like it. Do we have one more? We have one more. I refreshed the page. A few more are going to turn up. They did. Okay. So, strawberry GraphQL. Oh, I didn't share a link to the repo. My bad. Actually, I don't need to share a link because if I share a link to the issue list, you can go grab any links that you want from there. Harsh, you're welcome for the... Is that the right link? Yes, it is. Harsh, you're welcome for the suggestions. And Davey is raising you an issue. Okay, next. What do we have next? Strawberry GraphQL. Ooh, sounds yummy. Sounds fruity. Okay, what else do we have? This was created 1 hour ago when I started the live stream, so hopefully Patrick is still with us. Patrick, say hi in the chat if you're still here. Issue is raised and PR also. Davey, massive thumbs up. Again, added so much value, not only to that project, but to our live stream as well. And so I'll remember that name. And I think in our industry, because it's so noisy, you want to stand out from the crowd. And as I always say, get involved in open source, get involved in the conversation, have a good GitHub profile, but also get involved in the chats and don't just make noise, add value. And Davey has added value, so now I'm going to remember that name for a long time. And also why it's important you have the same name on all platforms. So when you talk to someone else on another platform, the amount of times I got a friend speaking to me on a platform and I'm kind of not being very chatty, and they say, Eddie, you do realize it's me, and they say their name. I'm like, well, why is your name different here? Oh, I just thought it'd be funny to call myself, I don't know, Bigfoot or whatever. And I think, well, I have trouble remembering so many things, and now you want me to remember like 4 different names that you have across 4 different platforms. It looks more professional to definitely have the same name across all platforms. Okay, Strawberry GraphQL. Started following you on YouTube. Thank you very much. I'd love to get a review. Let's have a review. Okay, last commit. What do you all see? I see the last commit was yesterday. Which is looking good. It's an active project. Got description. It's got a link. It's got a website. Let's have a look. Very strawberry. And has releases. Again, looks very professional. Has over 100 releases. Very professional. Like that. It's probably happening on CI. I can see there's a Cycle CI folder here. Nice. Lots of contributors. Really good. It shows it's like a healthy project and quite inclusive. Loving this. Some examples. And not only some examples, the code block is syntax highlighted, which is really, really nice. I'm not a Python person myself, but I am liking this. This is done really well. It even shows how to do Django integration, like other integration. I really like that. You got some more links. That looks really, really impressive, really professional. So let's have a look. Let's dig a bit deeper. Let's have a look. If I go to Insights, what can we see? Issue template. I can make my peace with that. If you're missing that, that's fine. Don't worry. The rest of it looks really good. Issues. You've got 10 pull requests. Nice. Let's have a look. You've got some labels, which looks good. Version 1. Nice. It's got a milestone. Again, being really organized. There's no project board tab, so you haven't got a project board yet. But it's looking good. So, okay, someone's raised an issue and has explained what it is really well. And you can see the maintainer replies, which is really good. You know, the same day, 28/28, shows the maintainer is inclusive and active and believes in their project. And it's not just about them bashing the keyboard and stuff like that. Okay, pull requests, let's have a look. Nice. Okay, there's been quite a few failures. I'm guessing it's something on CI. Let's have a look. Deployed documentation, pre-hook. You can click on details and find out what's happened. I just noticed that the Circle CI has a Circle CI folder that is running in GitHub Actions. It is running in GitHub Actions, but it's got a Circle CI folder. Maybe someone can raise an issue to ask the question, is it running in both CIs? Are they slowly transitioning from one to the other? Or was that just an old folder that got forgotten about? Failed of exit code. Okay, so there's an error there. But it's fine, and failures do happen in pull requests. It is normal, as long as you can fix them. There's a lot of failures, so these could be people submitting pull requests, aren't checking out the failures. So if you do get a failure, do check out the failures and see if you can fix it before the maintainer has a look. This one says work in progress, and it's in draft, which is good. If you are making a pull request because you want review from the community or the maintainer early, but it's not ready to be reviewed because it's not finished yet, definitely put it in draft. Therefore, the person reviewing knows there are going to be more changes. Nothing worse than kind of doing a final review and then someone says, oh, but I haven't finished. I've actually refactored half of that. You have to re-review it again and again. It just puts the person in the right mindset. This is really good. 700 stars, 66 forks. Looks really popular. Definitely well maintained. And look at this pull request. It's a proposal. It's written really clearly. Like this shows me that it's done really, really well. And do you know what else it shows me? That this person here believes in their contribution and their change and so forth, and knows what they're doing. They've really made a good effort here. So again, it's social coding. I've gone to see one project, and now I've discovered someone else. And it works for all of you, for people to discover you. I mean, wouldn't it be great to get the job, the internship, whatever it is that you're looking for, to come to you, rather than you having to apply to 100 places and get 100 rejections? Wouldn't it be great? I mean, that's how Facebook and Google and GitHub I got all my offers from, was because of my GitHub. So I highly recommend you all doing the same and do it well. And it's not hard, but it isn't easy. And it is a marathon, not a sprint. It definitely takes time. So yeah, really, really like this. Really good. We're not going to go through everything, but yeah, it looks really good. This is definitely a healthy project. It might not have started off that way because projects, usually start off quite rough and quick, but this has definitely become a really, really kind of stable, valuable, and inclusive project. Really like it. Really impressed. I don't think I got many more suggestions to make. There's tags, there's branches. Yeah, looks really good. What do you all think? Okay, Patrick's here. Hi, Patrick. Awesome to have you here. Thanks for sharing your repo. And we haven't migrated some things from Circle to Actions. I thought so. I thought there might be some, overlap you want to still migrate over. It happens on most projects, really. So yeah, it looks really good. I don't think I can, really give much more feedback. I really, really like it. I think it's very well done. You've got your own Discord, which is great. You've got CI building. Yeah, it looks really good. Really well done. I can learn from a lot from this as well, and hopefully everyone else can as well. Is there anything else, Patrick, that you specifically like us to look at? Like I said, you've got discussions as well. Yes, discussions is another beta feature. It's coming out any day now, but it's great to see another project have discussions as well. I love discussions. Discussions is like issues, but on steroids. I was going to do an evil voice, an evil laugh, but it was going to go terrible, so I kind of ditched it. So yeah, let me show you. Let me pick one of these. Let me pick one. So when you create one, actually, let me start at the beginning. When you create one, you can create general ideas, Q&A, and show and tell. Actually, instead of raising issues in the future for me to review open source project, we should raise show and tells, and therefore other people who maybe aren't on the live stream can also review it and give feedback. So you raise it. You can actually make your own categories now. And then the differences between this discussion and an issue is, yes, you still have the body, title and body, but when people reply, these are amazing replies, by the way, then you can have threaded conversation. So rather than going kind of boom, 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 like linear, this is, you get it nested, so you can see that someone's commented on that reply, and someone's commented again to the reply of the reply. You kind of get where I'm going with this. But yeah, really, really nice. And then you can mark them as answered. So none of these have been marked as answered yet. Oh, it's still definitely in beta, hasn't been released yet. As you can see, beta at the bottom. Not hidden by my head, which is good. But if I go to our support repo, and if I go to discussions, we've got ones with the green ticks on the right, and you can see that these have been answered. So yes, because then you can filter by unanswered, not answered. So issues is amazing. You get these stats down the side as well. Most answers, Eddie, yay! Am I blocking my head? Here we go, I'm gonna duck down a little bit. Oh, I can move the screen up as well. That also would make more sense. Okay, but yes, Strawberry GraphQL. Big thumbs up. Loving it. What else have we got? So everyone, oh, I've missed some chat. Let me have a look. Thanks for the review. You are more than welcome. Mohammed, awesome to have you here. Yeah, it's amazing. Love the support. Community support, see? Again, get on people's radars by giving them support. You will not lose out by giving other people support. As Danny Thompson mentioned in my latest video in one of his tips, support other people not only helps them and helps you, but it just kind of makes you stand out from the crowd. I love that. We have a bot that automates releases. Okay, awesome. Cool. So that every PR that gets merged gets released. Beautiful. Love that. I do the same as in my project. You know, create a tag, sometimes deploy it on CI. Really important. Automate everything. Okay. Let's have a look. What have we got now? Let's have a look. You've got one project and you've got portfolio. Let's just open a couple of these. Let's have a look. Very simple and clean customized profile. It is customized, which is the most important thing. I kind of find it odd when I don't see profiles customized anymore. I think they obviously just don't care. Yeah. So customized. Doesn't have to be pages and pages and really complicated. Just have something. So really, really like this. Awesome. Davey, is it Davey? Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. And yes, we should see you made a contribution today, right? 15 contributions today already. Awesome. Yes, we can see you Rotten Scripts, you made some contributions. Oh, and this one as well, multiple contributions. Nice, loving that. That's really good. So your profile looks clean, looks really good. I'm really liking that. And I like how you've listed the technologies below. I think I'm going to click on one. I'm guessing I want to make a suggestion. It's just going to show the, oh no, you've got them linking through. Okay. Why can't I go back on that? They all link through to the same place. They all do. It's a bit misleading. I would probably, I don't know what I'd link them to. I don't know, it's a bit hard. I can't make a comment. I was expecting it to go to that technology, but you know, I think that's fine. Excuse me. Where does this go? This goes to the same place. I will try and make maybe more use of it a bit. I don't know. You've got your socials down here. No, I think it's fine. I think it's fine. Ignore me. Ignore me. I'm just kind of, you know, processing it in my old age. Looking really, really good. I would probably put a description, or you have got a description down there. It's just looking a bit kind of empty on the side here. I don't expect a little bit more behind my head. Let me move it up a little bit. So join our community. If you haven't already, you can join by raising an issue on the support repo that I can find here. Raise an issue on this repo. Don't do that, Eddie. Raise an issue on our support repo, and we'll add you to our community. That way, you can, you know, have an organization appear on your profile. Again, it looks more professional. People can discover you from our community. We can get our community discovered from your community. It's kind of like a two-way street. So it's really good. You know, lots of contributions this year, which is good. It shows that you're active. You don't want it all like squished into one weekend. It's great that it's kind of spread out. Really like it. Definitely like it. Looking good. Okay. Wanderloss. I hope I pronounced that right. I'm so bad at pronouncing things. Let's have a look. So, got a description, like that. Link, really like that as well. What else have we got? 7 branches, quite a lot of 7 branches. These all Dependabot ones, yeah, I get those too as well. Probably want to close some of those if they're quite old. 10 days ago, still active, don't worry. I think if I've seen nothing for a few months, then I get a bit nervous. But yeah, it looks good. I would probably have a screenshot in the README because, yeah, telling visual, I think would be quite good. Definitely. What do you all think? You're watching. Let me read the chat and see what you all think. You're right. I need to fix that. Will do. Cool. Yeah, just making a bit more visual. I think that's all. And I'm guilty of this as well. It's sometimes you kind of you don't see it. That's why it's good to get reviews. So all of you, please review our community projects. It really adds value. What else? This is let me just check package.json because I'm thinking you can get an action going on in here. So you got scripts, you got build, you got start, you got lint. So you could put lint and test on a GitHub action, and again, it will just make that project feel so much more more professional. And I think you haven't got some other templates as well. Let me have a look. If I go to the community tab, you have the code of conduct. So if you want people to contribute, I recommend having a code of conduct. Maybe a short contributing file that doesn't have to be anything big. And remember, as soon as you have a file there, even with one sentence, like one line, it's already adding so much value. And the great thing is other people then can add more to that file. I find it interesting when people say, oh, I want to add, I don't know, some documentation to your project, Eddie. I'm going to add, for example, the contributing file. And then like a week later, I say, how's it going? Do you want some help? They say, oh, I'm going. I've got like 30 lines. I want to put 10 more. Wait a second. Let's just get one line. That's going to add value already. Just that first line. It might take you like 10 minutes to do or an hour, whatever it is. Add that first line. They say, but it's only one line, Eddie. I said, at the moment, we have 0 lines. So that one line will add so much value. So little and often, it will help your GitHub profile, help your project, and help the community. So highly recommend doing that. 39 thumbs up. Thanks everyone. Keep giving the video a thumbs up. Really helps support the channel. But if you've already given it a thumbs up, don't give it another thumbs up because then it will remove the thumbs up, I think. I don't know. I'm getting a bit delirious with all these lights on me. So yeah, I'll definitely add a code of conduct was what I was saying. And I think you can add a GitHub Actions with some of your NPM commands and maybe some of your Python ones as well. I don't know Python very well, but looking really good. Screenshot in the README. So everyone watching, someone raised the issue in the on the project. Do you want a link to the project? Let me share a link to the project. Yeah, Jose says I would click the link. Yeah, I would click the link as well, but sometimes when you're skimming, it's just nice to see before you click a link because look, it's taking a bit of a long time to load. I think just someone's house. That's pretty cool. I would yeah, just to see something here. I know it might get out of date quite quickly. That's also fine, just to see kind of what it looks like. You haven't got any releases yet. I'd probably create a release, even if you do them manually. It looks better. Awesome. Okay. No problem. You're welcome for the review. Looking good. I want to refresh the page and I'm hoping you get a few more issues. No issues. Come on, people. Raise the issues. I've forgotten what they were already. This is why I need you to raise the issues. Raise them. I've forgotten what we're going to say. But yeah. Anything, go look at the project. Anything you see that you think could be an improvement, raise the issue. The project maintainer does not. So David does not have to. Davey, sorry, does not have to accept it. But you've raised the issue. You've got the green square. You've given a contribution, and it's up to the maintainer to say great idea or to say no, thank you, and close it. But raise the issue, get your green square. Right, and you've got your showcase. This is the last thing I'm probably going to review today, people. It's been an hour and a half. I'm standing. I need to go sit down. I'm getting old. I want you to go contribute to open source because I know I'm distracting you. Well, hopefully I'm motivating you. Let's have a look. So this is really good. Your feature site, really like that. Got the dark background, really good. I need an app, a website, get in touch. Like that. You can probably make that a bit bigger. I just feel that's quite like small. I would probably personally, I'm not a designer by any means, but I would personally just make the font and just that whole block like maybe like a bigger and more punchy, more impactful is what I'd say. You got some blogs, nice. Hello world blog. Looks good. And then this page, contact, I'd probably put a bit more information about you, maybe a profile picture and some other information because again, this just looks a bit, you might put it underneath it or above it, it's entirely up to you. but I would just have something that's more, right, people want to work with people. So let them kind of try and feel that they can relate to you. I think that's really, really important. You got your links up here, which is good. So they can go find you and they can go look at things and look at your GitHub and go look at your Twitter and so on, but make it easier for them so they can get a good first impression, and they're on the step that they're on, because this might not be the first impression they've got, it might be the third impression, but then you want them to go follow you on LinkedIn or Twitter, or send you that email to ask you to help them with work or whatever the question is. But that step needs to give them enough kind of, motivation to go to the next step, to do the next action. So I think it looks really good. Really, really well done. This is awesome. How was the stream, everyone, today? Let's go to my big face. Unless you want to see my messy office. This is my messy office at the moment. I'm hopefully going to be, before Christmas, back in my normal office when I can have my big screen. Why is that angled all the way over there? Hopefully I can have my big screen back up here and I don't have to keep looking over there all the time to check things. But everyone, it's great to have you here today. Great to have you on this live stream. Love the conversation in the chat. I learned so much. I've got so many ideas and inspiration. So don't forget, give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe below if you haven't already. Hit the bell button so you get notified every time I post a video, go live. Also, share the video on my channel with your friends if you think they'll be interested in getting a project review, getting into open source. If they want to, upskill in open source and in tech, and get the job and money that you think that they should get and the money that they deserve, help them stand out from the crowd. You're all welcome. Thank you very much. Everyone, do me a favor, write open source in the chat. Let's just see who's still awake. And before we call it a day, we've got a few people still here, I'm pretty sure. Write open source in the chat. Let's see who is still awake. Have you fallen asleep? It's an hour and a half too long. Did not get good sleep last night. Jaro's asleep. Okay, that's good. Jose, awesome stream. Jacob, let's bring some of these up on the screen. We can see who is still awake. Okay, who have we got? Let's have a look. I don't know why they don't come through, but thank you all very much. I'll even bring up Jared's one. Falling asleep. Totally open source. Nice. Everyone, don't forget, I've got a live stream on Monday. That's in 2 days, 6 p.m. UK time, and it's with Gwen. So I'm going to have a guest on, and Gwen is going to show us how to get started with Vue 3. We'll do a quick recap on getting started with Vue 3. We did part 1 already. Do check that out. I think it was like 2 weeks ago. It is still there on my channel. Do have a look at the live stream. And yeah, we're going to do part 2 on Vue 3, and it's Gwen pairing with me and teaching me how to do Vue 3. And I've got to admit, as much as I'm an Angular person, Vue 3 and Nuxt.js, we had Debbie O'Brien from Nuxt.js. Nuxt.js is looking pretty good, which is so many awesome features. I'm not going to go into it now. I get all excited and want to build something in Nuxt.js, but I'm just holding fire to learn a bit more about Vue before I go get into it and go a bit crazy. Okay, so more people still awake. Open source for Mayor of London 2021. Oh, my thumb's not showing. There we go. Yay. Debbie and Gwen are cool. Yeah, I think I met you, Jared, on Gwen's channel, I think, and her community. It's awesome. They are very, very cool. There's lots of awesome stuff. Oh, did I miss Alex? Sorry, Alex. Oh, so bad. I missed some of your comments maybe before, but no, YouTube removed those. I didn't see those. I just missed yours now. That was my fault. So we'll leave Alex up for a little bit longer because he hasn't had a lot of luck with YouTube's bots or whatever it is. Everyone, there's the Discord link. Head over to Discord and we can chat between live streams and videos. The community there is really awesome and really inclusive. And yeah, I'll reply when I can, but there are lots of awesome other people who can help you, give you their perspective. You don't just want one perspective. You don't just want my perspective. You want everyone's perspective. And then you can pick which bits you want to do. So everyone, have a great weekend. I look forward to seeing you on Discord, in GitHub, and we'll geek out very soon again. Let me know in Discord or in the comments below after the live stream what videos you would like to see. I know we had a mention on dot files. Dot files are pretty epic. I can maybe do a demonstration on how. What about if reformat my laptop, share the screen on the live stream, and actually set it up from scratch and have nothing installed at all. So I'd open, like on my Mac, open Safari, log into GitHub, download my dots file repo, run the script, and you could see it set up. Docker, VS Code of plugins, configure my GitHub, configure my Git, all my shortcuts for Vim, for maybe my bash to ZSH. It'd be quite interesting. That'd be quite a long stream though. I'll have a think and see. We'll see what we can do. Maybe I'll do some small videos on specific areas, and then we can see how the interest and uptake is. We will see. Eddie, the OSG open source guy. Let's bring that up again. Made me laugh. You got to have that big on the stream. That's quite funny. Everyone have a great weekend. I said bye like 3 times, but I just having too much fun geeking out with you all. But I think now is time for me to bring up the holding page. Go get a drink, go sit down, and we will see you all very, very soon.